off later. Thank you. Yeah, do you know how to turn this? Like,
This is low. Oh, I mean, I guess if I talk,
but for the recording, like for them to be able to hear me and for others to be able to hear me talk, because I can barely hear myself. Is that just me though, or like y'all can barely hear me too?
Yeah.
It's a little quiet. It's like quieter than usual. Yeah, it's that thing over there. Thank you. Oh, why is this? All right, let us call this meeting to order. Thank you for your patience. I apologize for the delay. It is 8:03 p.m. and we're gonna get started. Opening roll. Shania Blair. Here. Raul Martinez. Here. Sawa Khan. Here. Jalen Rose.
Here.
Jotna Tavares. Shane Gardner. Here. Faith Archer. She's excused. Maritza Siguentia. Here. Sean Boylan. Here. Amelia Crawford. Here. Jerome Honey. Here. Sarah Jamil. Here. Aliza. How do you say? Adil. Adil. Matthew Kinlock. Here. Taha Effendi. Here. Sean Millington. Here. James Cooper. Here. Ria Samita. Here. Devani Melendez. Here. Anna Cervantes. Jeremy Zhang. Here. Rob. I know. Arobo. I'm trying. Esther? Here. No. God's will. Quarantine. De Jesus. Josh Kelson. Here. Dominique Jean. I am here. Jalen Miller. Here. Zanaya Summers. Aaron McGrath. Soraya Lewis. Imani Brown. Ose. Told me she's coming later. Nia Hicklin. Here. Fiona Fashalonga. Here. Brianna Rogers. Here. Thank you. Jody Grant. Here. Charles Shodero. Dodler Medna. Here. Dylan Klein.
present.
Thank you. Senator Burrow. Here. And Senator Morgan. Here. Alrighty, and I am here. Okay, beautiful. Yes. What's your name? I got you. Thank you. Alrighty. Oh my God, so many hands. Thank you. I called your name. I got you. Can you fix that? For John and Sierra too. Okay, thank you. Anyone else? I got everyone? Perfect. Don't shake the table too much. That tripod is not steady.
I'm trying my best. The table's not steady,
Okay.
not the tripod.
All right, do I have a motion to approve last week's minutes? I see a hand by Senator Klein. Do I have a second? Seconded by Senator Zhang. Any objections? Seeing none, moving on to opening remarks. I have not. I'm only chairing until we get to the vice chair election, so let's get there quickly. That's it. No certificates and celebrations, no appropriations agenda, that's coming soon, hopefully within the next week. Once we elect the vice chair, that's when formation of committees will begin. University reports. Would you like to come up? Can I have a microphone, please?
You look snazzy.
I woke up from a nap 10 minutes ago.
Good evening, everyone. More than anything, I wanted to make an introduction. My name is Paul Burlingame. I am your chief of police. So for those leaders that I have not yet had the opportunity to work with, I wanted to make sure that you could put a name to the face, and also avail myself as a resource to student leaders this coming year. We didn't get quite off to the start that I was hoping this year. We had a few incidents in the first couple weeks that drew some attention to student safety. So in addition to making an introduction, I am happy to answer any questions that any of our student leaders had about the incidents at the beginning of the semester, university's response, measures we can take to help keep our students safe for the rest of the semester, or related matters. I like to always mix in some good news. Just to bring our student leaders up to speed about a project we were working on last spring with some of our senators from last semester. We were working on a personal safety app with some support from the Student Association. I'd like to give a quick status update. We did go ahead and purchase a personal safety app on behalf of the faculty, staff, and students at the university. We committed to a 3-year subscription for every one of our community members. We are in the implementation phase now, which we are hoping that in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be able to roll that out to all the users at the university. Rave Guardian is kind of a standard product. A lot of our other SUNY colleges and universities use the product. About 60% of the college campuses across the country uses it. It allows for virtual escorts, push-button dialing to emergency services, text services, so some enhancements for personal safety. I will make a shameless plug that we will need the assistance of our student leaders in rolling out the product, really the marketing. It only really has value to our students if the students download and use it. There's no benefit for university police other than providing a service that we hope our students can use and help keep themselves safe. We stored nothing.
Senator Zhang, hopefully it works.
I made it worse. I'm trying.
Okay. So, like in the past month or so, I've heard about a stabbing on the bus, which wasn't reported in the report from the campus police. So I'm wondering why was the stabbing on the bus not reported?
So there's a stabbing in a parking lot. It wasn't on a bus. So I want to be really clear about what the university police does for notifications. We send out notifications when we can enhance student safety or faculty and staff safety. So if we have an incident that we believe presents a serious or ongoing threat to our campus community, then we send out a notice with pertinent information to help keep our community safe. In the incident you're describing, we had a suspect in custody within minutes. So by the time we figured out what crime we had, we already had the perpetrator in custody. So we knew that assailant didn't pose a serious or ongoing threat to our campus community. So we didn't put out the notification. We did publish it the next day, but to be very clear, the police department is not a news source. We don't put out information to keep you informed. That's what our media sources do. We put out information to be transparent, and we push out information to your emails or your cell phones or text messages or phone calls, specifically to keep you safe. So while that was a serious incident, we published it as we normally do the next morning, but we didn't put out a notice because we had the suspect in custody.
Any other questions for the chief of police? Senator Morgan, can you pass down the mic, please?
Yeah, hello. Good night. Do you think the development of this app will like probably affect the usage of the blue phones on campus? Do you think your app serves like, how do I say, better purpose than the blue phones?
It's a great question. I think it serves a different purpose. We widely see, and we look at blue phone, emergency phone usage across the campus, and very, very rarely do our students use our blue light phones. I think the one big advantage of our blue light phones, especially on the outside, is it's a visible reminder, it's a visible deterrent, and it's a power network outage option. Those phones are hardwired into copper. They will work if the campus loses power. Those phones will work. I think a great advantage. Even if we lose a cell phone tower, those phones will work. So advantage. But the vast majority of our students use their cell phones, and they use their cell phones to dial us directly. We think the app will streamline those services, will let a student share their location if they choose to, so we can pinpoint where they are if they need help, and they're allowed to use their phone in an SMS text capacity to have a conversation with our dispatcher during an emergency or for information, which we think is an advantage as well. So it's a different purpose.
How long has that app been running? You guys have like any data analytics on the app, like how many students are using it or downloading the app?
So a little bit. We looked at the app back in 2015. They've been around for at least a decade. They've made some improvements, and they've bought a few other companies to further fine-tune their product. So the problem we had back in 2015 is they didn't really have an option to turn off some of the services, and students were finding it drained their battery, and they deleted it. So the user rates dropped significantly over time. So we weren't happy with that. We still thought it was a reasonable service, but only if our students used it. Now that they've refined the app, and it really only draws battery from your cell phones when you're using it, it only shares location when you choose to, they found that the battery usage is in line with a lot of other apps, and students are keeping it on their phones. So we think now it's a good product to try.
Thank you. Any other questions? Senator Crawford.
Does the app work like for students who go downtown or off, or is it like only off campus?
Another great question. So one of the reasons why we like the app is geofenced. So we're custom programming the functions that are available. So we're putting emergency and non-emergency numbers, push buttons that auto dial, auto connect, both for campus police services when you're on campus or really near campus, and then a strict 911 service if you're off campus. So if you're outside the geofence, you hit emergency, it's going to dial 911 and hit APD or the sheriff's office. If you're within the geofence, you have the ability to dial us directly.
Any other questions? Yes, Vice President.
Thank you. Hello. Okay. One question that I have is about downtown campus safety for students. How are we working to improve that? Because I live on Ontario Street. One of my friends was waiting for the bus one day when the stabbing happened from the kids at Albany High. And I live on Ontario Street, and every time I drive around the police car that's there, the policemen are always on their phones. They're never paying attention. So what are other alternatives that we can do to provide safety for students off campus?
Thanks, and a great question. I was down last week talking to the residents and alumni and answering some of their concerns as well. So off-campus safety is really one of those, it's a hard topic to address. We know that we don't have police jurisdiction off campus. It's really the jobs of the Albany Police Department, and we're trying to work with them and come up with solutions to really enhance the safety in that area. But that area, that Midtown area is changing. It was a predominantly a neighborhood of longtime Albany residents and student housing. The mix was probably 60 or 70% student housing over the years. And it was a good balance. Sometimes it got a little crazy down there, but all in all, it was a relatively safe place to be. Since COVID, we saw a kind of a shift in housing when our students didn't come back in strength in 2020, 2021. Some landlords rented to Albany residents, some low-income housing moved in. We had a change in dynamic. We estimate that it's under 50-50 for students and residents. And a lot of the old, longtime residents that have moved out of the area, and it's a mix that now we're a little bit less comfortable with. We know that there's some gang activity in the area. We know there's a rise in violent crime in that area. We are trying to identify ways we can work with the Albany Police Department to address it. But the reality is, this moment in time isn't the safest in the Midtown area. And I've been a member of this community for 20 years. I've worked midnights down in the downtown area, in the college housing area. This is the worst I can remember, and it's the most worried I've been for student safety off campus since I've been here. So I don't want to downplay concerns, certainly. Our strategy for our department in the downtown campus is to remain a really high visibility, especially on that corner. You see an officer in his car, he spends a prescribed amount of time, because we know that putting a police car on that corner deters non-community members from coming onto Alumni Quad. We found that over time. So we do an exterior visibility to keep people that are up to no good from coming into trying to get in our residence halls. And then we spend a prescribed amount of time inside our residence halls with our students that are housed at Alumni. We only really patrol off our boundaries when we get a request from Albany Police Department. And we occasionally do, but for the most part, we leave policing to the city of Albany. The best things that we can do to help keep our students safe downtown is to equip you or arm you with information. The most direct information I can give our student leaders, we'll hopefully share it with our students, is that we have to be really careful in Midtown, especially at night and especially around large crowds. We have, anyone who's spent time downtown, there is a tipping point in the evening. Things are going okay, a lot of students, a lot of residents, and then you'll get the feeling that things kind of changed. Maybe a party let out. Maybe people are milling around the street when before they were just on the sidewalk. And kind of the hair on the back of the neck stands up. It's like things get really quiet. It's time to go. Like, don't wait for the accident. Like, don't wait for the show. Leave. Because I'm telling you, it is not the place it used to be even 2 years ago. That's the message listen, I hate to tell students don't go off campus, because that's part of the experience. Part of the reason why you came to Albany and came to university is because it's part of a package. But we have to experience downtown Albany in a safe and very reasonable manner, or else my fear is that bad things are going to happen to our students. So complex issue. Happy to have longer discussions and ways we can partner with our student leaders for specific things we can do. But it's a complex issue for sure.
Sorry, I had a question as well. There was an article in our student press about a UAlbany student being arrested for vandalism on campus. Could you talk about that a little bit? Just because if it comes to like our students getting arrested, I want to know, like, because I feel like no one came to college to have that experience.
So, and it is not our goal to arrest students either. So is it the graffiti incidents I think we're talking about? Yeah. The bottom line, we had a student that tagged a lot of property, caused some damage. After some investigation, we did realize what student it was. They admitted to the acts. They were arrested. They are gonna face some conduct concerns. One of the main reasons why we do arrest in some of these cases is for restitution. So it's a way that the court can recover costs of the damage the person caused. The university can recover those costs. It's not a serious offense, but it's a way we can hold them accountable financially. Sure. Does that answer your question? Or
I guess.
And we talked a little bit, the university police are not a news service, but we are a transparent organization. The next morning from that arrest, we pushed it out on our website, who we arrested, their name, their demographics, if they're a student or not student. We pushed that out the next day. Anyone that wants to know that information, they can subscribe. We email it to them every day, or they can go on our website and find the information directly. So we do try to be transparent. We just don't sensationalize our arrests either.
Senator Klein.
Alrighty, so you say you're charging the student with a misdemeanor and taking him to court for what looks like a very small drawing and what perhaps I think might be an Expo dry erase marker that says F12. How much is that costing the university to clean that up?
So Senator, that was not one incident. I think there was 4 or 5. And cleaning up graffiti on stone and bricks is expensive. I'm not sure the cost. I don't think it's astronomical, but it's a way to recover the damage to the university.
Follow up?
Yes.
Do you genuinely believe that it's a proper response to perhaps ruin someone's professional career over, again, what looks to be a dry erase marker on Dutch Quad's little demographic of how it's laid out? Do you think that's a proper response?
So I'm going to repeat that it wasn't one incident. There were several. So if you're looking at one picture, you're looking at a piece of the activity. And in the end, people have to be responsible for the conduct. We want a reasonable response to someone's behavior. But if someone's going to destroy university property, they should be held accountable for that. I don't think that should ruin their life. And I certainly don't think that the misdemeanor arrest, the ultimate disposition of the court, and the very likely expungement of that record is going to ruin anyone's life. But it is a means of accountability. So the reality is if people are going to get hired and a company's going to do a background check on them, whether they were arrested or whether we let them go, that record goes with them. So when someone does a record check, the incident that they were involved with as a suspect or an arrestee is the same report. The company will get that information.
Further follow-up?
I see another hand, so
Oh,
I'm gonna
sorry.
give it to them.
Thank you.
This is going back to like downtown off-campus things. This was just something that was brought to my attention. I know that, you know, the huge spotlight that you guys put up on areas downtown pretty much happens pretty regularly, especially in the beginning of semesters. But a lot of people have been coming to me telling me like things about lack of service, like phone service and like energy sucks and stuff like that. Like specifically lack of service, I think maybe because there's so many people around, but there's also like the presence of like other things. Is that part of it? Because people were like blaming the light, and I don't know if that's necessarily true because that makes absolutely no sense to me. But in general, people were saying like, you know, if they're gonna go off campus at night, like something that, like the tipping point that you were talking about of the evening, the first thing that people do is, you know, text whoever they're with, try to get an Uber or a Lyft or something, and, you know, it's been way more difficult than it has been in the past. And I was wondering if you could speak to that at all, if you know why, how to fix that.
So it's great information, and that's really one of the big values for me coming and talking to the group is to get some of that feedback. So our department does not put up lights downtown. That's the Albany Police Department. I do think they run on generators, so they don't draw anything from the grid. But if you're noticing, students are noticing loss of cell phone signals that really could be related to population. If that cell towers used to X amount of bandwidth, and we put 1,000 or 2,000 students or community members or residents outside, and they're all streaming or using social media, you are likely going to hit bandwidth on the towers. A real concern for sure. I'd be interested to see if there was more than one carrier as well.
I don't know off the top of my head carrier-wise, but I do remember it being like a problem for the majority of students were like having this issue and saying that they were having this issue. So I think it was like spotty for sure, and some carriers had it, some carriers didn't. And for the record, I do know that it wasn't the light, but somebody told me it was the light, and here I am.
Good intuition.
I promise I'm smart.
So I will say that especially Verizon is very responsive to student complaints. They have a partnership with the university. They're trying to win a market share.
Oh.
If students complain to their cell phone company about reception, especially in the city of Albany, I think you might get some answers. And they are making a lot of investments with adding towers in the Capital District. That might be a spot that they focus on. So I would encourage students to make those complaints to their cell carriers.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
Great, I want to thank you very much for your time and allowing me to speak. You can always get a hold of me on our website. My picture's there, which I hate, but my cell phone number and my office number is on there. President Walker has my cell phone number. You are welcome to share it with student leaders, and my email address is right on the website as well with a link, so you can always get a hold of me. I encourage our student leaders that issues come up, please reach out to me. I want to hear them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Hello? Good evening, Vice Chair Knight. My report, statement last week, Coffee with Dr. Christakis is still happening, right? So the form is on my involvement. If you are part of the group that wants to go on my involvement and fill that out. Hazing prevention is due this Friday at 12 o'clock. If you are part of an e-board of a club, top 4, you need to do your hazing prevention. It is crucial. Do not want to know what happens if you do not do that, so please do it. And lastly, good luck to whoever's running for vice chair tonight. I know the pains of these elections. I've gone through 3 of them myself. So, and the chairwoman knows herself, so I wish you the very best of luck. And as always, if you need anything from our office, I am here to do so. So good luck. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I have a question.
Sure.
Did you get a haircut?
I did. It looked good.
It does.
Thank you. I love you, Madam Chair.
There you go. No committee reports, executive reports, President Walker.
Hello, guys. I hope
Can we
everyone.
get the other mic? Sorry, this one's so bad.
This one's all good?
I can
Oh my god.
I promise I'd never do it again, but for you.
I mean, well, wait.
I don't.
Thank you so much, Chair.
Try it.
Hello.
There we go.
Okay.
Oh, damn. Okay. Hi, guys. I hope everyone had a very lovely week. It's so nice having to see you every week. I'd like to correct Nicholas.
Oh my God.
You said chairwoman. It's the chair. It's just the chair. Okay, so in light of the vice chair elections tonight, I want to keep my report short. We're still working on filling appointments and director positions, but that's pretty much our biggest priority. Sierra? Vice President?
Wait, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
What?
You can give that to me
I
anyway.
stepped away for 2 seconds.
Wait, people might have questions for you. Go
All
ahead.
right, questions?
Any questions for the president? Okay. Vice President Medrano.
Hey y'all, how's it going? I'm excited for the vice chair elections tonight. Once again, keeping it short, just working on filling positions, and I'm also working on Fall Fest. I do have a QR code out. I know there's been a lot of people that haven't gotten tickets to the event. It is sold out, but I'm opening it up to the Senate branch if you guys want to come and help. throughout the event. I do have volunteer spots available, so you can come to the event and help out. We have pumpkin carving, tote bag painting, s'mores bar, like watching over a movie, making sure everybody's okay. I did send that to the chair. If they would be so kind to put that up later after the meeting, that would be very great. Just scan the code, fill it out, and I will email you back and let you know all the info and all the details about that. Yeah, thank you.
Any questions for the Vice President?
Oh, Senator Zhang.
So, okay, so if this,
Oh, sorry.
you said that we can, for the Senate, we can help out in the event. So what if someone didn't purchase the ticket? Are they still allowed to help out in an event?
In terms of being in Senate or outside of?
In Senate.
Yeah, so if you're in Senate, I have a QR code that you can scan. If you haven't purchased a ticket yet, you can come and help out and still come to the event.
Follow up.
Yes, Senator Zhang.
So what if I purchased a ticket already? It feels like I purchased the ticket for nothing if I'm already like able to get it for free.
Yeah, so you're not essentially getting in for free. You're not enjoying all the activities and participating in them. You're on the behind the scenes part. We have buses going up Friday at 8 p.m. and then the rest of the buses with students come the following day at 2 p.m. So you would just be enjoying the event if you paid for a ticket. If you come as Senate and you're helping out as a volunteer, which is what it says on the QR code and like in the form, you will be helping. You will not be participating in any event. You will not be pumpkin carving, tote bag painting, making s'mores. You'll just be you'll just be helping.
No, he's meaning he bought a ticket.
Yeah, you'll just be working.
No, he bought a ticket, but he wants to help.
If you want to help, you can refund the ticket and we can give it to another student in the university who actually wants to come and attend the event. But if you do want to participate in activities, I ask that you do keep your ticket for Saturday.
I'll send the QR code out later.
Thanks for.
Any questions for the Vice President? Any other questions? No. Moving on to Chief of Staff.
I'll shut it off.
I've been continuing to work with each department regarding interns and programs. Many of the directors have held interviews and even hired some interns, so kudos to them. I've also spoken about some resources that are already available to assist with planning and hosting. I've worked with communications concerning our newsletter, which should be published soon. I've also fleshed out some of the specifics for those who are going to Digby Hill to help set up. And next week, we are going to start meeting with every director individually in hopes of supporting them in every way possible.
Any questions for Chief of Staff? Moving on to Director of Academic Affairs. Also, if you are able and willing, could you please stand so people can see your faces? I got that request, and I want to be able to support that so the senators know what you look like. Thank you.
Yeah, hi everyone. Just for any of the new senators, if you don't know who I am, my name is Carter Lepid. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. And as Director of Academic Affairs for the last week, I did finish interviewing all of the interview applicants. We had over 30 intern applications. Our application closes officially on Friday, and anyone that applies from here to Friday, I will be interviewing no later than next Wednesday, October 5th. I will not be doing interviews after that. I do already have 3 interns, but we want to expand our team and give more students an opportunity. So if you know anyone, please, let them know that they can apply. In regards to everything for tonight, specifically, we had our Latino pre-law panel that was happening right before this. So I'm so sorry for coming late, closing it off. But it was really great, and having Albany Law and their professors and students speak with us about their identity. It was a really nice experience. I did want to mention that I've gotten a few questions about this. In regards to academic deadlines, any classes dropped from here on out will receive a W on your transcript. So please keep that in mind, and please speak to your advisors if any of your classes are an issue for you. And then any previous complaints about the office hours of the financial aid office and the registrar's office are in the process of being addressed by my department. That is all.
Any questions for Director of Academic Affairs? Seeing none, moving on to Director of Civic Action.
Hey everybody.
Okay, so I scheduled my first interview for an intern this week, and if you guys have any friends that'd like to be an intern for the Department of Civic Action, please send them my way. Email sacivicAction@albany.edu. The Peace for Pakistan event went really well. We received $643 in donations. We received roughly about 100 pieces of clothing and like 5 boxes worth of food, with the pretty big boxes. So we'll be working with MSA to get that sent over as soon as possible. We're also going to be working with Res Life on Empire for an event November 7th, and just get more tabling done.
Any questions for Director of Civic Action? Seeing none, moving on to Director of Communications.
Hello, so basically this week, I reached out to an applicant and scheduled an interview on Thursday, September 29th. This is an applicant applying to be my intern. And applications are still up and they will be closed on October 14th at 12 a.m. If you know anyone that wants to apply, please go on my involvement and apply there. For the essay weekly newsletter, both templates are finished, and I'm currently in the process of reaching out to all the directors for more information to put in the newsletter. The first newsletter will hopefully come out on Monday, October 3rd. Thanks.
Any questions for Director of Communications? Seeing none, moving on to Director of Community Engagement and Outreach.
Hi everyone, I hope we're all having a good week so far. So just in regards to interns, I've interviewed 5 candidates so far, and I have a 6th interview tomorrow actually, and I'm still in the process, of choosing who I want. So feel free, if you know anyone who is interested in working in community engagement outreach, my application is still on my involvement. And recently I created an Instagram for my department, so it's at SA Community Engagement, so I'll be posting different community service opportunities that are affiliated with SA and that aren't, just because I feel like a lot of students have issues finding them, so I'll be posting everything on there for you guys, so please stay tuned. And this week I had a couple meetings in regards to the Trick or Treat on campus for children in the capital region, so I'm still in the process of planning that, and I'm also still in the process of planning and scheduling the Pine Hills cleanup. So.
Any questions for Director of CEO? Seeing none, moving on to Director of DippyKill. First meeting, yay!
Good evening, everybody. All right, so basically for the DippyKill department, we've opened up applications for interns. You have until the end of October. I've already interviewed 1 candidate and they've joined. We now have a finance intern at DippyKill. I've been filling in all the plans going on for the DippyKill event at Fall Fest. They were made by our Vice President and President prior to me being appointed, so I didn't really do any of the planning, but I'm all filled in. Shout out to them. Basically, besides that too, one other thing. Oh yeah, my office hours. I set my office hours every day, Monday to Friday, 10:30.
Thank you. Any questions for Director of DippyKill?
They are very. There'll be a flyer out in the front of that set.
Oh, thank you, Ethan. Any questions? Seeing none, moving to Director of Gender and Sexuality Concerns. Yay!
Hey y'all, my name's Mairead, if you didn't catch that last time. So this week we opened intern applications yesterday. I'm hoping to close that on October 7th, but if we need more time, we'll expand that. I set my office hours. They are very chaotic. Should I read them right now or no?
Go ahead.
Okay,
Whatever you
so
want to.
if y'all ever need me, I'll be in the office Monday, 12 to 1, Wednesdays, 3 to 5, Thursdays, 12:30 to 5:30, and Fridays, 1:30 to 3:30. Additionally, I've been working to set up 2 events for the next upcoming weeks, and I met with the Assistant Director of Women, Gender, and Sexuality Affairs, who is Courtney Dialid, I believe is her last name. And they and I are coordinating together, so they're having a speed friending event that I hope to follow up with a Queer in College panel later that week. And I also wanted to do an event for cisgender allies to participate in on International Pronouns Day. So yeah, those are my plans.
Any questions for the Director of Gender and Sexuality Concerns? Seeing none, moving on to the Director of Health and Sustainability.
Hi everybody, I'm Erica. I'm the Director of Health and Sustainability. I've got a meeting coming up with the Director of Campus Management for the menstrual product dispensers. I also got quotes on a couple of those, and I've been looking into actually getting myself down there to install them into walls, so that'll be an exciting thing for everybody to witness. Yes, I'm also working to set up a meeting with ResLife to do menstrual product dispensers and contraceptive dispensers in the quads and the tower lobbies. That one might take a little longer, but it's a work in progress as well, I promise. Tomorrow I'm meeting with the University Office of Sustainability to discuss a panel I'm hosting with Dr. Christakis and Todd Foreman on November 15th, so keep looking out for that info. I'm opening up intern applications later this week. I'm also still collaborating with Academic Affairs for the medical panel and community engagement for the Pine Hills cleanup. I've also reached out to the Red Cross Club, who's interested in co-hosting with the Pine Hills cleanup, which will be fun. My first event is next week. It is the Personal Health Buffet. Previously, I called it the Condom Buffet for anybody who was curious. It is Wednesday from 9 to 5 at the Go Desk, which is right across from Starbucks. It's the big one. I am seeking volunteers, specifically from SA. Everybody seems to want to participate and table and be a part of things. Here's an excellent opportunity to give things out to student body. If anybody is interested to come hand out supplies, we're doing contraceptives, menstrual products, stress balls, pens, resources, pins, stickers. We're gonna have the whole shebang. Wednesday 9 to 5, I've got hour and half hour shift signups for people, and I'm also trying to partner with the GSRC to have them help as well. So if you're interested, you can email me either at my personal email, which is estrand@albany.edu, or at sahealthsustainability@albany.edu, or you can just reach out to me, text me, come approach me, whatever, and I'll get that figured out for you guys. So let me know, I really need help, so thank you.
Question from Senator Miller, yes.
Not really a question, but just saying to sign up for that event. I think it was me, and actually Enid and Sierra, we all did our own like makeshift condom giveaway around the
It was fun.
And that was a great way to foster community. We met a lot of good people. So
People wasn't jacking.
it was fun. So I recommend all senators sign up to help.
Yeah, I have an Excel sign-up sheet for people who either need community service hours or who just really want to be good humans and come meet the student body, which should be every single one of you in this room as a student leader. So let me know, Wednesday, October 5th, 9 to 5 at the Go Desk.
Sure. Okay, any other questions? All right, moving on to the Director of Information Technology. Yay!
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Ruben. I'm the Director of IT for SA. So usually I'm in class, but my class got pushed to Zoom. So recently I hired 2 interns. One is Catherine, if you could stand up. So I have been updating the SA website. The center branch is almost done. I just need to add some pictures, pronouns, as well as some small bios. It has been brought to my attention the Supreme Court decisions button on the judicial branch wasn't working, so I fixed that up. So if there's any questions, please email me or walk in my office hours. And I'm also working with Raymond Webb to organize a program by sometime the end of next month, and that's all I have.
Any questions for Director of IT? Alrighty, thank you. Moving on to Director of Student Group Affairs.
Hi everyone. So this week I've just been continuing to coordinate with the court on improving constitutions and just getting student groups recognized. We also had a meeting to revise the sample constitution to make parts of it like less vague, make it more updated. Furthermore, I am updating the documents on the SA My Involvement, on the Student Group Affairs My Involvement to make it more organized and updated. So you'll soon see a new version of the certification statement, the new group registration form, and more. I also met with Ruben, who's the Director of IT, about the how to start a new group link on the SA's website so that it's clear in exactly what to do to start a club and just overall accessible to students and people not in SA. I've also started planning my first 2 events. So I met with Source and I also met with the comptroller to be able to start planning and scheduling a date. I'm also currently interviewing interns, but so far I've already hired 2 interns, Starlin Polanco Rojas, you can stand up, and Savannah Robinson, who's not here today. Thank you.
Any questions for Director of Student Group Affairs? Seeing none, moving on to the Chief Justice Report.
So last Friday, the court met in person to review a number of student group constitutions, and as of today, every president has been emailed about the status of their constitution. Additionally, the revised petition forms will be sent and uploaded on the My Involvement page later this week. Following a comment made last week, I have spoken to the Director of IT, as he mentioned in his report, to correct the issue found on the SAU Albany website. We are also working together to amend the issue and will send out a notice when it is completed. In the meantime, I am still working with student org presidents and executive board members to amend your constitution suitable to SA bylaws and mediating minor issues found between students looking for advice. As consistent with last week's report, I'm still taking walk-in appointments during my office hours, which are Tuesdays and Thursdays between 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. If these times do not work, you may email me at sachiefjustice@albany.edu to schedule an appointment. Thank you.
Any questions for the Chief Justice?
Ew, stop turning it.
I'm not trying to turn it, it just keeps shaking every time you look. It's not on you. It was like towards the directors.
All right, no questions. Moving on to Comptroller Burke.
All right, turn it this way. Oh no.
I don't listen.
Good evening, everyone. This week, my week was quite busy, just working on PRs. There's been a lot of PRs in the system, so I've been trying to rush in PRs for Fall Fest student groups that are having last-minute events. Met with student leaders to discuss future events and contracts for these events. Also, SAOC application closed last night, so I'll be reviewing these applications this coming week. And I will also be requesting each student leader expenditure report this Friday, and this report will be due on Monday, October 3rd. So look forward to that email, and also our audit is scheduled for this Friday. So once our process has finished, we'll have that necessary update for the student body. And that's all for me.
Any questions for the Comptroller? Seeing none, moving on to Deputy Comptroller.
Hello, everyone. If you don't know, my name is Jason Lissandro. I'm the Deputy Comptroller this year. Oh, okay. Like Kavan has been saying, we've had a lot of PRs into the system. I've been working with some student groups, getting their contracts underway. There's been a lot of questions about the contract process. So I've sent out a couple of emails to all signatories, kind of outlining that process, giving them some updates on what to do, and just reaffirming when our office hours are. And a lot of student groups have been taking advantage of those office hours, and we're always glad to help. Like Kavan has said, our assistant comptroller positions have closed. I've passed along my notes to Kavan, and those who applied should be looking out for an email from us sometime this week. Additionally, last week I mentioned working on some DiPiCale finance analysis. That's still happening in my spare time this week. It was only around like an hour of work I was able to do, but that is still underway, and I will let you know when that's complete.
Any questions for the Deputy Comptroller? Seeing none, moving on to the Chair of the Elections Commission. Catherine's Bailey.
Hello. Sorry, that's very loud. Really brief one from me. Still working on the spring timeline sentiment. I promise I will get that to you sometime this week. And yeah, let's get to the vice chair.
Yay, that was good. Moving on to the Board of Finance Chair. She told me she was here. I was just texting her about where she was.
She was watching the live, so.
Oh, awkward. Hold on.
Please put the report in the chat.
What? I know last time she said she had no. Oh, okay.
Who's watching the live? You should have put the report in the chat.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm out of breath. But I wrote this down.
She wrote it
She
down.
sounded like she wanted to sing a song.
We actually have a report this time. Good evening, everyone.
Hope you're all doing well. So I've been trying to find a way to fix. Okay. I've been trying to find a way to fix the errors that were in the budget from last year with the help of the comptroller leadership.
She ran for this. She was
I'm so sorry.
Take your time. It's okay, babe.
Okay. Those errors include allocating $400 to JSA, and that money will be pulled from.
Just take a second. It's
Yeah,
okay.
take a second.
It's okay.
You can sit.
Give her 1 minute.
Okay.
Take your minute, then.
Yeah, that money will be pulled from contingencies, as well as the budget for Asian American Alliance. Let's see. I've been looking over contracts for some events that will be happening in the coming months from various orgs. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Any questions for Chair of the BOF? All right, seeing none. No legislative agenda, no old business. Catherine, can I sit down now? I just want to preface by saying I might not be chairing, but Catherine is deserving of the same respect that you give me. Yes.
Let me take my tissues. My stuff.
Wait. Where are you gonna sit?
Here.
I'm gonna move this off of you.
What we're not gonna do is get riled up while the chair's getting settled, okay?
I'm trying to see if you're more British than me. All right, are you ready? All right, I knew you'd be ready. You've been ready. Okay, so we are doing the vice chair election. Now, some of you will be familiar with this process at a time, in particular. But for those of you that are not, I'm going to run through what we're going to do this evening. I will ask for a little bit of patience. I'm not as versed in Robert's rules as Chair Velez Galan, so just be patient with me. I'll work with you. I promise everyone will get heard. But yes, so just bear with me where you can. So, I'm going to start with a little reminder of you guys have all been candidates at some point, and those rules that I spent 40 minutes explaining at candidates meeting essentially apply here. So please treat each other with respect, courtesy. All of your debate points or questions are relevant, and I want to hear them, but just make sure that they're respectful of the candidates and your fellow senators. So, how this is going to go. I'm going to open up the floor to nominations. Every nominee must receive one nomination, followed by a second. Once they agree and accept that nomination, they can come up to the front. Once everyone has finished nominating, I will close nominations and I will award the candidates 5 minutes, which is a time that has been determined by myself and the chair, to introduce yourselves, do a brief presentation, explain why you're running, etc. When we're done with that, we're going to go into a round of questioning. This is going to begin with questions that have been submitted by the executive, judicial, and the comptroller as per the bylaws. These questions are for every candidate, so every question will be asked of every candidate that stood at the front. Once we have gone through those questions, senators will get their time to ask their questions. Again, these questions are specifically for every candidate. They're not for one candidate in particular, they're for all of the candidates. So if you're asking me a question, I'm going to ask it of every single person. Once we've done that, every senator will have at least one question. You don't have to ask one question if you don't want, but you do have at least one question that you can ask of every candidate. Once we've done that, I will allow you the opportunity to ask specific questions. Once we are done with that, I will wait for a motion for debate. The candidates will go out of the room and please leave your devices, and then you guys can debate freely, privately, and we will navigate that. When we are ready, we will go into a vote. Votes are going to be done via paper ballot. I do it this way every single time. It's confidential. It's just going to be me, Nathan, and Anjali, our commissioners, that will be tallying those. As a note, you need 2/3 to elect a vice chair for the first 3 rounds. After that 3 rounds, it's a simple majority. Let's go for a 2/3. We did it with Chair Valesca-Lon. I'm feeling confident.
Question.
Go ahead.
Are you moving into executive session for debate?
No, I just need the candidates out of the room.
And not on Zoom, not on live.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mind.
Then we should go into executive session.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mind.
We'll take.
It's a public.
I mean, I've never done it in executive
No, me
session,
neither.
so I don't necessarily need it to be. I just need the candidates to be not in this room, if that's okay.
Okay, so I don't care.
All right, cool. So, nominations. Senator Khan.
I nominate Senator Jalen Miller.
Do we have a second for Senate? Okay, we have a second for Senate Gardner. Okay, awesome. Do you accept the nomination? Wonderful, come on up. Okay. Any other nominations? Senator Crawford.
I nominate Senator Klein.
Senator Klein has a nomination. Do I have a second? Senator Rose. Awesome. Senator Klein, do you accept it? I do. Come on up. Any other nominations?
I nominate Jalen Rose.
All right, we have a nomination for Senator Rose, sorry. Do I have a second? Senator Honey? Okay, do you accept?
Yes, I do.
All right, come on up, Senator Rose. Any other nominations? All right, seeing none. All right,
It's like a chocolate Oreo.
Okay, so I am gonna give. Are you guys ready? Okay.
Sorry, I
I'm
didn't
gonna
mean to say
give
that out
every
loud.
candidate.
That was an intrusive thought.
You good?
Yeah.
All right. All right, so we are gonna do opening remarks. Like I said, every candidate gets 5 minutes. I'm gonna go in the order of which you were nominated, and then we will rotate. So, Senator Miller, the floor is yours for 5 minutes.
Do you
Up here,
need
or-
me to time?
Go on then.
Do we get a
And-
microphone?
Yeah, where's the mic?
It's right there, is it not?
I need to go home.
Next to Yeti. Next to Yeti. I'm sleep deprived. Ignore me.
Of course.
Okay.
All right, this should not take 5 minutes. I will not take up too much of your time. Thank you, Selo, for the nomination and Shane for the second. Hello to all of my colleagues here in the Senate, Catherine, the Executive Board, and all other senators and court members and SA members in general here today. If I haven't had the chance to meet you, my name is Jalen Miller. My pronouns are he and his, and I have the honor of running tonight to be your next vice chair. So a little bit about me. I was born and raised in New York City. Go Queens. I'm a first-generation college student currently studying my junior year studying political science, philosophy, and Judaic studies. I'm going to go into a little bit about my leadership experience now. So in my college career, I've served in many leadership positions, many of them within the College Democrats organization. That's probably where you know me from. I've served here at our university, at our state level, and about in 4 days, I'm finishing up my 1-year term as national president of the organization. So happy for retirement, and